Turning Red gave the sweetest character from Despicable Me a dark edge, making Maze, the main character from the film, battle with her panda form much more compelling and captivating. This new film appears to have taken the world by storm, with audiences either praising it or shrouding it in controversy. Stick around to find out how this new children's film put a strange, dark twist on the adorable, lovable character from Despicable Me. We will also delve into a lot of other details surrounding the new film and how it has stirred up quite the controversy. So, how does Turning Red put a dark twist on Agnes, Despicable Me's cutest character? When Turning Red graced our screens in February this year, viewers couldn't help but associate the main character with another popular character from the hit kids movie Despicable Me, Agnes. A young girl Gru took in on his dark mission to become a great villain, was one of the sweetest characters in the Pixar universe so far. Gru planned to turn the orphans Margot and Edith from cookie sellers to pawns with the help of his minions. Fans fell in love with the tender themes of family that helped Gru redeem himself, find love, and become a hero, and the film produced 2 sequels, in 2013 and 2017, with the same sweet sentiment throughout. Turning Red, Pixar's newest feature, explored that issue of family and friends, while also giving the Agnes-like character a sinister twist through its over-exuberant main character Abby. Agnes will always be remembered for her epic line, "It's so fluffy," she said as she urged Gru to get a plush unicorn for her. Her defining move in the franchise was to love fluffy toys, since they calmed her after coming from a very lonely background. Abby from Turning Red has the same kind of character traits, except she is a much more energized, rough-edged version. In the new film, at one point, Abby exclaimed, "You're so fluffy," throwing all of us viewers back to the cute little character from Despicable Me. However, when saying the legendary line, the insane expression in her eyes is quite dark and scary, making her an extreme, remixed version of Agnes. We highly recommend you see it for yourself. Next, why Turning Red is a turning point for Asians in the film industry and why it caused so much controversy. Although Turning Red is an innocent children's film, it has created so much controversy and differing opinions. Turning Red is a 2002 film set in Toronto, Ontario, that follows Mei Li, a 13-year-old Chinese-Canadian girl who transforms into a gigantic red panda when she experiences significant emotions. It depicts Mei navigating the highs and lows of the early 2000s with her pals, while also trying to please her mother, Sandra Oh, and crushing on her favorite boy band. The coming-of-age tale also breaks other industry barriers. Shai is Pixar's first solo female director, and it's the studio's first Asian-led feature. The movie, which debuted on Disney Plus just last week, has been acclaimed as an innovative and refreshing perspective on the awkwardness of growing up. However, a review that appeared on the internet shortly after its debut provoked outrage by so many. Sean O'Connell, managing director of Cinema Blend, commented that the film was limited and exhausting, and that he couldn't connect with it. He wrote, "Some Pixar's films are made for universal audiences. Turning Red is not. The target audience for this one feels very specific and narrow. If you're into it, this might work very well for you. I am not into it." As you can imagine, this shallow response caused uproar amongst a wide range of people, especially within the Asian community. For many Asians, O'Connell's review was all too familiar, and it was frustrating to hear. Some cast members even responded to his remarks, including Rosalie Chang, who plays Mei Li in the film. She replied saying, "This is a coming-of-age picture. Everyone goes through this shift. I believe that different people from various cultures will experience it in different ways, but at the end of the day, the basic messiness and change will be something that everyone can relate to. It doesn't matter whether you are Asian or not. Everyone can relate to this movie and the things Mei goes through." Secondly, Nancy Wang Yen, a Biola University sociology professor and author of Real Inequality, Hollywood Actors and Racism, stated the evaluation contradicted her impressions of the film, writing, "She is just a regular 13-year-old girl with a puberty problem. So I think it's amusing, right? Because it's the most humanized representation of Asians, it's definitely the most relatable." Wang Sung Yen then went on to call O'Connell's claim that the film was intended for a small group of people the emphasis of whiteness, which was a sentiment felt by so many. She went on to explain that if it's not based on white people, then it will always be considered marginalized, no matter how relatable the actual content is. Finally, according to Phil Yu, who runs the popular blog Angry Asian Man and is co-author of the book Rise, the review reflects the scarcity of stories featuring Asian protagonists. The lack of Asian representation on screen only adds to the dehumanization of Asians off-screen, he explains, stating everything from random street attacks to racist policy is affected by the dehumanization of Asians in the media. It's very surprising that people still think this way and judge something so innocent as a kids' movie solely based on the ethnicity of the characters. Now, Turning Red, shared universe theory, and other major Easter eggs. Okay, now let's talk about the shared universe theory that has been a hot topic throughout every single Pixar movie, dating all the way back to some of their first major animated films. Turning Red is the most recent Pixar picture to hit theaters, and with it comes speculation and theories about how it fits into the famous Pixar universe. Turning Red, like previous Pixar films, includes a lot of Easter eggs and connections to both past and present Pixar films, leading to the illusion that it and other films are part of the same continuity. Turning Red is set in the early 2000s, between Toy Story 2 and Finding Nemo, but before Ratatouille in the Pixar timeline. While there isn't much in the way of parallels between Turning Red and other Pixar films, there are some that point to its place in the studio's so-called shared universe. Now bear with us, as this theory can seem quite wild, but we had to mention it as it is such a big talking point when it comes to Pixar films. The theory begins with the idea that the dinosaurs in The Good Dinosaur not only evolved to the point of human-like intelligence, but that they also developed magic, or magic-like abilities that could be passed on to others. Humans exploited dinosaurs to produce the magic seen in the film Brave, which, when combined with human research on animals, has resulted in highly intelligent creatures all around the planet, as seen in Finding Nemo and Ratatouille. I know this theory sounds far-fetched and is a lot to take in, but it has been circling the web since the early 2000s, with many Pixar fans strongly believing in the connections between each film and that they all exist within the same universe. While this is going on, By and Large, a fictional company in the film WALL-E, is using Syndrome's zero-point energy and AI technology to turn inanimate objects to life, including the toys from the Toy Story franchise. The machines eventually take over and pollute the Earth, forcing humans to leave and allowing them to rule over it, which is why there are no humans in the Cars franchise. However, without humans to provide for them and fossil fuels becoming scarce due to the dinosaurs dying more slowly, all the machines on Earth die out except WALL-E, which naturally leads to the storyline of WALL-E. Following this, animals are thought to have been transformed to By and Large's leftover radiation centuries later, resulting in the monsters in Monsters, Inc. and becoming the dominant species after humans and robots have died out. This ties into the final factor of the Pixar universe theory, which states that Boo, the little girl from Monsters, Inc., became obsessed with the idea of seeing Sully again and found a way to use the magic of the doors to travel through time in order to find him. It's also possible that Boo left behind the recurring Easter eggs in the Pixar films in her travels. Boo eventually matures into the witch from Brave, whose magic assisted in the development of animal intelligence, bringing the Pixar theory full circle. But the question remains, where does Turning Red fit into this universe? Well, the film doesn't make a compelling argument for being a part of the Pixar theory, but it also doesn't directly work against it. Because Turning Red takes place in 2002, it's easy to slot it into the same time frame as the first two Toy Story movies. And since magic is a big part of the Pixar shared universe hypothesis, the magic in Turning Red may be a continuation of that. We may need to see some more Pixar films drop before we can truly know where it fits into this shared universe. Only time will tell. And there you have it, everything you need to know about Turning Red and how the main character seems to be a darker version of the lovable Agnes from Despicable Me. Thanks for watching!